I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. In this video today, I'm talking about character development, the steps towards creating an amazing and phenomenal character for yourself. Now, a lot of the times we grow up and hear, build your character, but we don't really know what that means. What does that mean? Well, first of all, your character's got to go through some hardships, okay? And that really breaks down the ego, in a sense, right? And so it's more malleable in your hands when you go through hardship, when you go through challenge, when you go through difficult things or uncomfortable things. It actually crushes your identity, in a sense, okay? Now, from that space, you can then make it like silly putty and actually create the character that you were born to be, that you prefer to be, that you want to be. Understand that the word recreation is used in a wrong way. The word recreation at its origin point means to recreate ourselves, okay? Now, how are you recreating yourself? After a certain standpoint in my life, I knew I had to recreate myself because the results that I was getting was not matching the results that I wanted. And so I tried everything else. I tried to go externally, and try, get different products, get different courses, get different mentors. And though that did help a lot, I think the biggest transformation happened internally when I made an internal decision to myself that I am not going to be the same person. I'm going to evolve, and I'm going to be on this journey of evolution. Now, it might be that you feel like you started too late. It's never too late, okay? You could be 46, you could be 82 doing this work, okay? This is the work where you're just immensely building your own foundation and building your own internal world to a point where your external world starts to match it, okay? So first of all, go through struggle, redefine recreation. Recreational activities, they're there to recreate you. They're not a waste of time. It's just you've got to use it in the right way. You've got to utilize it instead of letting it consume you as if it was an act of consumption. Rather, it's an act of creation. It's called recreation, right? So in that way, it's going to recreate you. Third thing, I want you to take power over your name. What do I mean by that? Well, somebody named you in this world, and now people call your name and you immediately turn around. Okay, it's like if you called a dog, it would immediately respond to that. You've been conditioned to respond to your name. This makes you a slave to your name. Okay? So when someone calls you, you go, what? Instead, I want you to slow it down and just take your time with it. Okay? This is about ease, this is about effortlessness in your character. So again, if you want a very jumpy and, jittery type of character, by all means go for it. I'm not stopping you. But I think the most eloquent and attractive characters are the ones that are calm, collected, and they still have a well of energy inside them that whenever they want, they can go into more energy. And I think that's a better character than being energetic all the time or being very low mood all the time, super mellow all the time, okay? This is about the balance between the energetic and the mellow, right? This is about maintaining that flow with the character itself. So that's how you can go into maintenance mode. It's never too much, it's never too little. It's just the sweet spot, it's just the right amount, and you just keep riding those waves. And sometimes it is too much, but then you bring it back down. Sometimes it is too little, but then you bring it back up. And that's how you evolve the character. Again, just a reminder, take power over your name, okay? Don't let people just tell your name and you immediately respond unless it's they're yelling it and it's an emergency, right? That's a different situation. However, just to know that you have power over your name and you can actually change your name if you wanted to as well. However, you got to understand that this is a programming that's very, very deep set, okay? You might have a nickname or a name that you don't like that people call you. Well, guess what? You don't have to abide by that. You can come up with your own nickname and have people call you that instead. Alright? Have people call you by your stage name. Have people call you by a different name that they know you by. You're allowed to create this persona how you want, okay? How you look is actually really important for your character, okay? People will tell you these things, oh, looks don't matter, okay? Money doesn't matter, status doesn't matter. It's all about what? What is it about? It's about character, and that's right. It is ultimately about character, but your character also has looks if they're going to attract attention, okay? The looks are important. It does have this avatar effect where we immediately respond to someone who is much more, let's say, good looking, or much more in their ability of really, like, you know who they are and they know themselves. You sort of feel a softness and more rapport with these people who kind of know who they are, right? Rather than someone who seems lost, or they seem uncertain of themselves. Like, should I do this? Am I supposed to be like this? How can I change this? That isn't really the type of character that you want to step into. You want to step into the character where you're like, you're not half-assing the character, right? You're fully stepping in and you're like, this is who I am. Love me or hate me. That's it. Make sure you give them a backstory. I talk about this in my book TPM. Again, if you guys want more techniques on how to develop your character, you definitely check out my book TPM. It's called the Theatroplasticity Method, okay? And I'm also coaching people in this method. So if you want to learn this method, I will also train you in this method so that you can design your character's life or the lives of your clients, or let's say you're an instructor of something. You can use that as a tool, as a toolkit, to help you with your profession, whether you're teaching, whether you're coaching, whether you're healing, whatever you're doing, okay? So give your character a backstory, okay? Now, everybody has a backstory. They have a past, but they haven't written their past in the way that is serving their storyline in some way. Right? What's a better storyline? Oh, my past partner cheated on me and I was left broken and, you know, I had to change. Okay, that is one way of telling the story. Another way of telling the story is, I recognize that me and my past partner didn't match in values, and we didn't really have that compatibility with each other. And so she put her attention elsewhere, and I left that thinking it crumbled me. But through picking back up the pieces, I recognized something very incredible. Okay, this is the same story, two different ways that it's being said, right, being portrayed. The same thing about your own job, right? If you're an electrical engineer, I mean, it doesn't sound really cool to say that, right? I mean, it does, but then again, it's like, okay, that's fine. But if you have, let's say, a quote-unquote normie job or an average job, you want to actually speak more about what you're passionate about or what your drive is in. Okay, your drive. Okay, not your motivation, your drive. Motivation is temporary, drive is keeps you going, okay? So what are you driven by? Okay, the very important question. So instead, when people tell you, oh, what do? You can say, oh, I'm a carpenter, but I'm really passionate about, you know, stamps. I collect stamps, and in fact, I'm fascinated by different countries and the way that they, you know, organize and symbolize these stamps. Oh wow, that's kind of cool, right? It sounds like a hobby, but not really a hobby. It sounds like they're professional about it, right? There's something very unique about the way that they're saying something, okay? Now this is a perception, and perception creates reality. Now you got to understand this technique and rewrite your past storyline, okay? If you've been through trauma, rewrite it in a way where it empowers you, not makes you feel like crap all the time, okay? That's what I'm saying. So it's up to you to rewrite your backstory and your storyline so that it fits the ultimate character that you prefer to be. Even if your past is messy, have it serve you in some way. Make your mess into your message and allow it to serve you. You got to understand that you're human, you're vulnerable, you're flawed. Okay, so you got to use your flaws. And in TPM, I'd say trademark your flaws, right? Don't hide from them. Just utilize them and actually show people, like, okay, I'm not scared of this thing. Okay, if you're short, you own it, right? You're like, haha. You're extra confident. You know, you show that side of you, and I'm just gonna get past you. I've been working on my confidence, right? And you just go past people like that. It's like, you know, if you're a very intimidating looking guy, right, you want to be like a little bit like, I'm feeling a bit awkward. You know, you want to play the opposite role because you want to soften people. You want people to build rapport with you. right? So you got to know the effect that you have on people. How are people responding to you, and using that to your advantage as well. You got to give them classic heroic qualities, okay? Like, okay, this is a maybe, but I think everybody wants to be a hero. I truly believe that. I believe that everybody wants to save the day, wants to be the hero at the end of the day. They want to be the superstar on the screen. They want to be the center of attention, ultimately, okay? People do want this. They might lie about it, they might just push it away, be like, that's not really for me. But ultimately, people want to feel important, they want to feel accepted, and that they can at least harness attention and not be like a piece of furniture that people ignore, right? Like, have you seen these people where you're trying to talk to someone and they just fling them away like a housefly, right? Well, you don't want that effect in your character, right? You don't want to be a piece of furniture. You want to be someone that immediately when you walk into the room, people give you, oh, at least that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to emphasize your inner life as well as the surface level. All right, the surface level, there might be some problems that show up in your life. How do you handle that with your character traits? Okay, let's say you have specific character traits. Let's say you're a charismatic person. How do you handle your problem in a charismatic way? Boom. How do you see your character on the TV screen handling this issue which is pending, or this issue which is dangerous or threatening to you and your personality, right? How do you handle that? How do you show up? What do you do? How do you choose to cope? How do you choose to thrive after the coping? Okay, this is all important in terms of your problem-solving abilities as a character itself. Like, are you more of a detective type? Are you I'm going to knock him out type of guy? Like, who is your, personality type? And how is it going to be built over time, right? How is it going to add up over time and over the years? How refined is it going to get to the point where you may have to switch it for something else or adapt that character? You get what I'm saying? So once it reaches its optimum level, you might want to either tone it down, refine it a little bit, give it a different approach, maybe change its fashion sense, whatever it is. You're gonna change your character over time, right? So it's important that once it gets to its top supreme level, you do something with it that changes its approach, and you're not just like, oh yeah, that's done, I'm there already, and then you just give up on it, and then you lose those character traits, okay? I don't want that to happen to you. This is a muscle, so you gotta use it or lose it, okay? Trust is a muscle as well, so you gotta use it or lose it. I explained that in the Genius Days event. If you guys haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's about trust in relationships. Really awesome talk. Ivan's girlfriend also came down to say a few words and about their relationship, so super valuable stuff, right? Go check that out for sure. It's on my YouTube page as well. Draw upon your own experience in developing your character, and show, don't tell. Okay, this is really important. You got to demonstrate to the world your characteristics. You got to demonstrate it, okay? Now, a lot of people over-demonstrate on social media, but that's what it's for, okay? Look, this technology is actually not about being transparent, right? It's about the highlight reels. It's about creating an image, a brand, which is temporary. Again, it's in that very moment that you feel so called to portray yourself in a certain way, right? Or curate your identity, your personality in that specific way and share it with people. Well, similarly, people are watching you all the time, right? They're watching these videos, they're watching me, show up, and if I'm doing anything, like, people are just going to be watching me, right? Eyes are on me. So when you live like eyes are on you, you show up differently, you carry a different kind of energy, and you don't let people down as much, right? You actually hold that frequency with you, and you keep ending up doing the activities that are going to develop yourself instead of skew you in a different direction and, become like a sinner or a gambler or something like that along those lines, right? You want to stop the character before it reaches the brink or reaches the edge. You want to bring that character back and remind them of their core fundamentals, right? What makes them them? What are their values? What are something that makes them strong and, be able to admire themselves. And the last thing is conduct your research, okay? You gotta research different characters, different things in movies and TV shows and cartoons and myths and all this kind of stuff, right? To get to different characters that inspire you, that you can tap into, that you can channel, that you can be inspired by. Ultimately, this can be characters from your own culture. I think that'd be very helpful. I have a chapter in TPM called anti-typecasting, so it's about embracing the positive stereotypes in your culture and removing the negative stereotypes in your culture. And also, you can just take little elements of things you might have seen in childhood or seen throughout your life, or little patterns repeating, maybe a symbol that's important to you, maybe an animal that's important to you, that may give you a fuel and a fascinating, fun journey. So you know the program, you know the coding of your character now. Now you can play with it, right? Have fun. So I hope this video helped you out today. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you next time. Boom.